Anya Taylor-Joy did a movie. She was good in it. Yeah. If you'd like to see my review on Last Night in Soho, stay tuned. All right, let's get right down to it. I'm not going to play games. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This movie was just absolutely atrocious to watch. Edgar Wright directed this film, and we know him from classics such as Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and there's a huge following for those films. Like, people genuinely tend to love them. I remember both of them came out when I was in high school, and so many people quoted Shaun of the Dead and, loved Hot Fuzz. An exorbitant amount of people enjoy those films. And I was really, really hoping with Anya Taylor-Joy, who I am absolutely falling in love with as far as like her performances go. I mean, The Witch, she was spellbinding right off the bat, right? She was good. And in fact, you know what? I'll go so far as to say that all of the respective actors in the film did a good job. Eloise, who is played by Thomasin McKenzie, I thought she was fantastic. She really, really sold me on that, like, deer in the headlights kind of experience that you have going off to college and wanting to make friends, but people are rejecting you and you don't fit in. And she just did such a good job. She was cute and quiet and kind and just all around a very well done character. And she did a fine job, as portraying someone that may be kind of losing their mind a little bit, and knowing that there's a history of psychological issues with her mother having committed suicide. It was a believable experience to watch her character unfold the way that she did. So Eloise goes off to college in London. She's being rejected by all of her schoolmates, with the exception of one boy who has an interest in her, thinks that she's a nice person, and he wants to kind of look after her a little bit. But she wants to make clothing. And she soon finds that she is feeling ostracized in a way. So she goes off and finds her own apartment to live by herself so that she doesn't have to deal with the hazing and being made fun of and all the bullshit, really, that she found herself experiencing with her roommates in college. Upon renting this house, she starts to see these visions of the past, and she thinks that she's basically solving this mystery of who she's seeing who was murdered. Eloise had seen her mother before. I'm thinking that it's really kind of leaning towards a traumatic experience, but, throughout the film, we've come to realize that she can kind of see ghosts. So she can see ghosts, and she starts to see these visions of Sandy, who is Anya Taylor-Joy's character. And she's experiencing what it's like to be this stage performer. She's a dancer, and a lot of push and pull comes with that territory for Sandy. She's basically told that she has to perform sexual favors in order to get ahead for men. She does a lot of these performances at clubs and gets herself into a little bit of trouble here and there. So Eloise begins to tumble down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and we can't really tell as the audience whether or not she's experiencing these things for real or if she's just kind of leaping off into insanity inch by inch. It always happens at nighttime when she has these visions. So part of us, I think, at least most of us in the audience, may believe that she's just dreaming, but then that starts to come into reality, pours into reality a little bit more and more as the film goes on. And she starts to lose grip of reality and starts to blurt out things out loud in the middle of class. She starts to have mental breakdowns. Now, This may all sound very interesting, or like it could have been done very dramatically, but there is like this air of poppiness to it, and it's a weird kind of charm, especially with the color palette and the way that it was shot. It's almost like show toony and staged in a way, like stage performances, like you're watching a play. So it takes away from the validity of the feelings that the character's experiencing and makes it just a little bit over the top. Michael Ejao plays John, who is this boy that's interested in Eloise, and he's a very sweet character. The two of them together is charming. John is just trying to look out for someone, and his true presence on screen is really only there to help further her story. I didn't feel like he really had a whole lot of character on his own. It was really just there to fuel for her to get from point A to point B and kind of experience some of these itty-bitty feelings here and there. But overall, like, his presence on screen was, perfectly acceptable. But Anya Taylor-Joy stole the show whenever she was on screen, and she barely had lines. I mean, she had some lines here and there, but she was kind of a mystery in the film. Thomasin McKenzie did do an exceptional job at cultivating this experience for her character, but I think ultimately the script was full of poppy references, and it was just a little too over the top. Like I said, it did remind me of a theatrical experience as far as like theater, not so much film. And I think that the film really suffered from that. And it's also kind of suffering from a 2-hour-long runtime when there's not really much happening as far as the film goes. Really what the film rests on and relies on is the aesthetic, the lighting, the music. It really does very well with that. It creates an atmosphere. But the story is just one trope after the next. And unfortunately for me, I think that it fell flat. I would give it a 3 out of 10. There was one point where I had to take a phone call in the middle of the film, and I didn't care that I missed anything at all. Like, I missed 10 minutes of the movie and couldn't have cared less. And it also didn't feel like I missed anything while I missed 10 minutes. So that's all kind of going against the film a little bit. I didn't enjoy it at all, really. There's a couple good performances. Some aesthetic was okay, but overall, I wouldn't recommend it. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all soon. Thank you all for tuning in.